You know how it is when a natural disaster hits. The news crews are everywhere for those first few dramatic days. We see the destruction, we hear the incredible stories of survival. But what happens after the storm passes and the cameras pack up and leave? Well, for a lot of people, that's when the real storm begins.
Yeah, this is where the real story starts. It's the beginning of a long and often totally invisible journey to recovery. And it's a path filled with challenges that go way, way beyond just rebuilding a house.
So the first and most immediate crisis, it isn't what you'd think. It's not just about the bricks and mortar. It's the invisible emotional wreckage that a disaster leaves in its wake. I mean, just try to imagine losing everything you own. Your whole sense of safety just shattered in an instant. This isn't just stress, it's a deep, profound trauma that can lead to long-term anxiety, depression, and PTSD. It makes every single decision in the rebuilding process feel absolutely impossible. And this emotional crisis, it sets the stage for the next major challenge.
So as survivors are just trying to grapple with that trauma, they get hit with a second wave, a complete and total financial unraveling. And the numbers behind this free fall, wow, they are absolutely staggering.
Get this. Right when you've lost your home, maybe even your job, your basic living expenses, we're talking temporary housing, food, getting around, suddenly jump by an average of 30%. You're spending more money than ever right at the moment you have less than ever.
And what about that financial cushion? Your savings. Poof. It vanishes almost overnight. Now keep in mind, half of all U.S. households have less than $750 in savings to begin with. After disaster, a staggering 62% of affected households have absolutely zero savings left within just 1 year. So with no savings and costs through the roof, that's when the downward spiral really kicks in. Over 40% of survivors end up missing a crucial payment on their mortgage, their rent, or credit card. And that puts their entire financial future and their credit score in serious jeopardy.
And just when you think it couldn't possibly get any worse, a new threat emerges. In this moment of extreme vulnerability, survivors basically become magnets for people looking to exploit their desperation.
We're talking about fake contractors who take your money and just disappear. Phishing emails that look exactly like they're from FEMA. And these high-cost credit traps, like payday loans with interest rates over 400%. When you're completely overwhelmed by trauma and you're not thinking clearly, these offers can seem like the only way out. These scams don't just steal money, they steal hope, and they just pile on more trauma. Okay, so that's the bad news. But the good news is there is a powerful, proven way to fight back against all this chaos. It's a two-part solution that really acts as a lifeline, and it addresses both the emotional and the financial crises head-on.
Think of it like two pillars holding up a bridge to recovery. On one side, you've got recovery counseling. That's all about emotional support, helping people process the grief and stress with new coping strategies. Then, on the other side, you have financial coaching. This is laser-focused on stabilizing their finances, navigating aid and insurance, and avoiding those dangerous debt traps. They are two totally distinct pillars, but they're part of the same bridge.
Now, it's really important to get this. This isn't traditional therapy. Post-disaster counseling is a proactive, action-oriented service. It's led by certified professionals who actually help survivors set concrete priorities for rebuilding and develop solid plans for future resilience. It's all about empowerment.
So, the big question is, does this two-pronged approach actually work? Well, the data is pretty overwhelming, and the results, they really do speak for themselves.
Take a look at this. Let's talk credit scores. Without help, the average survivor's score drops a painful 25 points. But with counseling and coaching, their score actually increases by 29 points. That's a 54-point swing. That's literally the difference between financial collapse and financial recovery.
And that's not just a number on a page. This translates to real-world stability. For people who get this support, the risk of foreclosure plummets by 99%. Evictions drop by 63%. These services are literally keeping people in their homes.
And here, this might be the most powerful number of all. Within just 1 year, 98% of clients are back on their feet, resuming their regular monthly payments. This is the proof that with the right support, recovery isn't just possible, it's probable.
So this isn't just about helping one family at a time. It's about creating a blueprint for entire communities to become more resilient when disasters strike. So what can be done? Well, there's a pretty clear 3-step plan. First, integrate these support systems into all disaster protocols. Make them standard, not an afterthought. Second, partner with proven experts like nonprofits approved by HUD that can provide help right when it's needed. And third, prioritize outreach to the most vulnerable households to make sure recovery is equitable for everyone.
And look, this isn't some far-off dream or a theory. It's already happening. Major institutions like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are already doing this, offering disaster recovery hotlines that connect homeowners with these exact services. The model has been tested and it works.
So, after everything we've seen, we're really left with one crucial question. If a disaster struck tomorrow, is your community truly prepared? Not just with sandbags and shelters, but with the support systems needed to handle that invisible crisis that always follows the storm.